Northwest Digital Art Kids is a nonprofit organization that's based here in Portland, which has the mission of putting technology into the hands of young artists. And our first major program is a music technology center called the Old Library Studio. We started the organization back in June of 2003, and took about a little over a year to design this program, remodel the old Hollywood Library building, and begin offering classes. It's really just a matter of inspiring creativity in young people and teaching modern tools for accomplishing creative aims. The way that I came to work in this job, working at the Old Library Studio, I saw a posting on Craigslist where they said they were looking for a techno wizard, and I was like, okay, well that's a weird thing. It was I think it was in some kind of a strange category like the business section, like techno wizard, and I thought, oh well, all right, what's that? My name is Noah Kleiman. I run the Old Library Studio, and I teach young people, teenagers, to compose and record their own music with technology.
Well, my name's Tyler, and I usually come here to make electronic music with, analog synthesizers and stuff like that. I really prefer analog over digital. It just has more of an intimate feel for me, because you really get to, control it, do lots of stuff with it, with your hands, more than just, in a computer.
I certainly enjoy working with a classroom that has students from all different backgrounds and perspectives. Some of them are songwriters, some of them, in terms of the styles that they're interested in. I have students who are interested in rap music, who are here to create experimental avant-garde music. There are students who write rock music, punk music, film scores. Kind of the design of the program is that you can do whatever style of music you want. We're just here really on the creative end of it to talk about sort of music in general and work with you, helping you use the tools that are here. What you make of it has to do with your own taste, or lack thereof, I might add.
My name is Sean, and I started coming to the studio basically when it opened. I was in Noah's inaugural Old Library Studio class, and it was just sort of an introductory class to the studio. It wasn't really anything big. We had like half as much equipment as we have now, and I like it here. I don't know. This is a good place. I enjoy coming here.
It's important to note that we're not offering or providing instrumental music lessons here. And that's, if you look at what gets taught in schools and what gets taught by most other music nonprofits, they're looking at teaching someone to play the violin or teaching someone to play the piano. And so, what goes into that is like, okay, well, here's a piece of music that someone wrote already, and you'll learn how to read that piece of music and then make the instrument play that piece of music. And voila, you're creating music there, Johnny. And the problem is that if that's the only part of music education that you're engaged in, you don't actually learn how, that piece of music was created, or how to create your own piece of music in whatever style you happen to be interested in. What's special about the program here is that we're engaging in music making from essentially scratch, going from no music to creating, your first little pattern or motif. We're not requiring our students to know how to notate music. They aren't working with sort of the little bars and staff lines. Instead, they're working with computer software, which gives them access to the same information that traditional notation uses, but it's doing it in a way that is a little bit easier for a layperson to understand. And we're not saying that, those other things aren't important. Absolutely they are. But for some reason, I guess there's this perception that you need to first master your instrument, and only then will you be ready to start writing your own music.
This is a story about a taco and how yummy it was. Taco, taco, yummy, yummy, taco, taco, in my tummy. It was just that good. Taco, taco, yummy, yummy, taco, taco, in my tummy.
My name is Stitch. I listen to a lot of crazy music, so I get into making like techno, death metal, like black metal style music. Just is completely insane. I've been volunteering here for about a year now. I came from Portland Knight High School. There was a program that Noah was doing with the students there where they come over and they learn the programs here, and I decided that I enjoyed the program here. I enjoyed making music and I enjoyed learning how to make music, mix it and whatnot, and so I continued to come as a volunteer.
My name's Laird and I'm a volunteer here at Old Library Studios. Old Library Studios is now about 2 years old, and the Portland Knight High got in contact with Noah at Old Library Studios pretty shortly after the studio opened and started sending students here. So there's been a little over a year's worth of Portland Knight High students who've come through the studio here.
So you said it might be grueling. My name is Katie, and I've been going to Knight High for about a year now. And I joined the music studio at the beginning of this year, and I got to come for a second term, and I think it's really fun, and I get school credit for being here, so that's awesome too. So I usually like to record just acoustic guitar and singing. I'm taking blues guitar lessons right now, and that's fun. So I'm trying to learn blues, but I mostly sing folk. I guess it's like a mix between Ani DeFranco and Alanis Morissette, so I've been told. I don't really know what it is.
There's a group of about 6 students normally who show up as part of their high school curriculum to come to the Old Library Studio and do a little music recording. There's a pretty diverse group of kids here, a lot of different types of styles of music that they like to record and work on.
Just doing a little impromptu to see if I can get somewhere today. This is what I do all the time when I'm here, and then like I get something really special and I'm like, yay.
Some of you are engaging in experimental music, and some of it actually even could be termed atonal music. Most of you are not, and mostly because I noticed that, for example, Tyler was doing an experimental piece with the synthesizer, and it was really cool and just pretty intense. He's been working on it for a long time, and it's like 20 minutes long. The after-school program at the Old Library Studio takes students who may or may not have a background in music through the basics through to advanced music production. The first class that a student takes at the Old Library Studio is called Music and Technology. About half of our time is spent going over the basics, how to make a basic recording, how to use drum machines, synthesizers, other digital music making tools to produce music, as well as sort of studio procedures, how to put away the cables and things like that. Once a student has completed that course, that basic course, they typically will move on to our intermediate production classes, recording, editing, and mixing, and synthesizers, sequencers, samplers, and MIDI are done in a slightly different style. So those are done over the course of 8 weeks. We have a 2-hour sort of lecture presentation. A student is expected to come in up to 4 hours a week to work hands-on with the equipment in the studio. So it's a very hands-on program all around. It's something that really makes the program unique, is that students come in and they're working with real music tools, the same stuff that's being used to by professional producers to create the sort of recordings that you would hear on TV and radio. It's mostly genius children that take classes at the Old Library Studio.
pretty much everything I know about, the electronics here and, the music and stuff. I learned, a lot about synthesizers from now on. Like, I practically didn't know that they existed before I came here. And now, I just sit down and play one like crazy, it's really fun.
Well, in one of those first classes, we somehow got into like playing things backwards, and so we put on Strawberry Fields Forever off of Magical Mystery Tour, and we were playing it backwards because, of course, there's a lot of devil messages if you play it backwards, or whatever like the old people of the world were saying at that time, was that it was corrupting our youth, and so we wanted to see if that had any kind of basis in fact. And so we played it backward. We didn't find any like messages telling kids to smoke marijuana or worship the devil or anything, but what we did find was that some of the parts of the song were actually sounded more like actual parts of a song than the parts that were when you play it forwards, because that song used a lot of backwards tape in the first place, and that was really revolutionary for its time. Of course, everyone does that now, but it was just so ahead of its time back when it was recorded. 67, was it? I just sort of come here to have fun, and if there's anyone like my age who wants to like come here and learn about music, this is like the perfect place for them to go to, just learn about different techniques of making music and how to use all kinds of different studio equipment. And it's just a really great place, and Noah's a great guy, and it's just, I like it here.
Well, I've really, decided what I want to do with myself. I really like working at the studio, and I feel like it's, going to be a career path for me. I feel like I have, a real purpose now, making music like that, and, sort of engineering people's recordings.
Coming to the studio has changed my life, like, spectacularly. I never had the opportunity to make music or create in any way. And here I'm able to just freely make what I want, and if I need help, there's always someone there to help me.
I have better attendance in school now that I have a purpose for going now, because sometimes I feel like I need more of a purpose other than just getting a diploma. I know it sounds terrible, but coming here has been like, oh, this is part of school and I enjoy this a lot.
I guess I could say one thing that I really like about doing this job is that it's everything at once.
It's soothing. It fits the way I feel at the time that I'm listening to it. I feel like it's therapeutic.
Well, it's like art. It's important. It's just as important as paintings and stuff like that. People love music.
I don't know what I'd be doing if I wasn't coming here.
I believe that music just plays a part in everyone's life, no matter what style it is. It keeps you moving. Like, no matter where you are during the day, there's always a song going through your head, or there's always a tune that you know. I just think that it helps people get through the day mostly.